Good afternoon, CK. Karen O'Neill here from United Way, coming to you with our 3 p.m. chat, hosted by our friends over at Your TV. I'm super excited. I have Chris McIntosh on the line with me from the Gigit community. Gigit is, we started out a relationship with Chris and his team back in, I believe it was February of last year. And really what caught our eye is it was this fantastic software that really kind of answered the challenges that we were having around volunteer management, donor management, all kinds of things like events. Like we're using all kinds of different software to manage all of these different activities that are happening in our agency. And we know that the nonprofits that we work with in the community are experiencing the same. So we were super excited. We heard the word free as well. I'm not going to lie to you. That was definitely an eye catcher. I'll just give you an example. The volunteer software that we were currently using was costing us about $5,000 a year. And I know nonprofits all over the community are looking for the same sort of solution. So thanks, Chris, for joining us. Hope you're well. You're in Hamilton, right?
Yeah, out in Hamilton, or just outside of Hamilton. Appreciate the opportunity for sure.
Awesome. And you're at home right now with your family. How are you?
We're good. We're 2-year-old and a baby, so it's hectic, but it's fun, and it's given us an opportunity actually to spend some more time with the kids at this age. So I've actually enjoyed a little bit of it, if there's a silver lining in it all.
That's awesome. So just before the call, Chris and I were talking about how I wasn't prepared really for this call, hence the ball cap and my hair up in a bun, and I'm wearing kind of grub clothes. We're actually getting ready for a yard sale at United Way. And Chris, though, did prep. The last time I talked to him, he had a beard out to here, and now he's pretty clean shaven. So thanks for doing that, Chris.
Yeah, no problem. Get out of the COVID-19 hole, but yes.
So I talked like very briefly about the history of our relationship, and we know that folks at Gigit have been working extremely hard on this new version that we're super excited is being launched actually as we speak. But at the beginning of COVID, Chris, like Gigit really supported us with some of the initiatives right off the hop. And I will say that the top one that's coming to my mind was a student nutrition program. So, that's a program that is delivered within the schools. So children that, require or have any kind of nutritional needs can access this program. Actually, it's open to all children. So there's about 10,000 kids who access it, but we know there's about 2,000 that really rely on it. And we were tasked with how do we mobilize that program so that it is still happening in the community, and Gigit was the answer. So anyone who's requiring that kind of support can go right to our CK Gives page and sign up, and all of that is done through Gigit behind the scenes. But maybe Chris, can you touch on, because you had a heavy hand in the website itself, and not only the website but also the donation button. So if we can talk a little bit about that, and if you want to expand on Gigit, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think it's a good example of what our mission is, and maybe I'll step back to that really quick, which is, our goal is to give every nonprofit, charity, foundation, whether it's United Way or, a small nonprofit locally, the tools that they need to do all the things that they may not have done before or would have found very challenging or very costly. So we worked really hard to build a platform that we could offer free, but would give all the solutions for whether it's, like you said, mobilizing volunteers in a volunteer management platform, to donations in a donor management platform. And now seeing over the couple years we've been working with you and other nonprofits to test what was needed in the market, a full event and fundraising platform as well. So our mission always has been to better connect communities, and whether that's connecting the community through volunteerism, whether it's through connecting the community for donations and support whether it's connecting people to paid work in the community, which we also do. So our goal and our overall mission has always been to better connect the community, but then at the individual nonprofit level or charity level is to give those tools and the solutions necessary to do things you may not have been able to do before. And so we want everybody to be able to take a program like you just suggested, or when COVID-19 hit and CK Gives came out, to be able to do that quickly with a few clicks versus needing 3 or 4 different software platforms and a lot of money to do it. So that's really what the solution is trying to solve, is that challenge for every nonprofit. And maybe there's the 20% that have lots of money and that raise lots of donations every year, but the 70 or 80% of the nonprofit world is what we think we're going to really raise the bar for. We want every organization to have top-notch technology for accepting and managing donors and donations and volunteers, as well as running events and fundraising opportunities. So we were excited to jump on with CK Gives. That's an example where you're still using Gigit on the back end with a microsite if you really want it to be branded, where you can still have a donate button, a volunteer button. The new version is actually taking another step towards eliminating that need even for a microsite, which is a common thing in campaigns or nonprofit events right now, where you see a landing page and a button to go to a donation platform on the back end. So we have customized group pages, customized event pages that you can drag and drop and build your own. So we've come a long way in terms of building a solution that we intend to be an all-in-one solution for any nonprofit or charity. And now we've started to, of course, with Connecting to CK, step into offering solutions for businesses as well.
So let's talk a little bit about the volunteer piece, because that's how our relationship first started. I was just absolutely thrilled. First of all, I'm going to give you a really unique situation. When COVID hit, there were all kinds of people raising their hands saying, "I want to help, I want to help, I want to help." So yes, I did use Gigit, of course, to roster those folks, but I had all of those nonprofits already been on the platform. It would have been a fantastic way, right, to connect to the community. But at the same time, I'm seeing all kinds of great opportunities to continue to have those conversations. So as we have been with your team and the different school boards. So at this point, the St. Clair Catholic District School Board has committed, and as I understand, is going to start working with the grade 8s onboarding, or that are entering into grade 9, and they're going to be onboarding them. But what excited me when we started having these conversations, first of all, I have teenagers that one just left high school, but was that this will be a place where the student success teachers can send their kids to, right? All of the students to, and look for all those volunteer opportunities. So maybe, Chris, can you because I think that part is really interesting and exciting, how students can get those their 40 hours that are mandatory, but it's a place where there's all kinds of great opportunities. And so on that point, maybe talk about how the partnership that you're working with as far as McMaster. So all of that stuff. I know I said a couple of little teasers, so you expand for me.
Sure. Volunteering is probably at the heart of Gigit, right? It's where we started this initiative, and we really grew a platform around volunteering first, and then evolved that into an all-in-one platform for the nonprofit. So the challenge, of course, is every nonprofit out there, as you would know, it relies on the volunteers, and they're the strength of the nonprofit community. So how do we mobilize an army of volunteers in an actual efficient way versus what's been done in the past? And so one of the challenges to that is that every organization, either doesn't have one because they can't afford it, or they use different volunteer solutions. And so for a volunteer, whether it's a student or a general volunteer or a newcomer to the community looking to get involved, how do we bring them all together into a single place that says, show me all the opportunities within, where I am right now in Chatham, where can I volunteer? And, when it's a high school student, like you said, they want it quick and easy. So where, that's never been something that they could do. And not to mention that it's very hard to know what all the nonprofits in the Chatham-Kent area, as an example. there's 300-400 of them out there. How do you know which ones they are? And so we either gravitate towards the ones we know, or we just don't know where to find them. So this gives that opportunity. We wanted to build something that was a social platform. That's why we built it like a social media platform, so that students go to the site, or volunteers go to the site, click, I want to volunteer, and based on where they are, they get a map that shows them exactly where all the volunteer opportunities with different organizations in their area. And so solving that challenge, of course, we have obviously started to partner with high schools and universities across Southern Ontario. And we've also started to partner with the volunteer centers directly. And that is, again, how we started to work together originally. And so we, like I said, facilitate the not just being a posting board for volunteering, but the true engagement of volunteering. So a lot of volunteer boards today, or opportunity boards, is just that. It's a listing, and you can get an email address or a phone number to reach out to that organization. What we really wanted to focus on at Gigit, which took a lot more time, of course, is to have an entire engagement platform, from application, managing those applications, right through to the verification of volunteer hours. And the social media part of Gigit, what we believe it to be, is we build you a profile of experiential learning or skills and things like that, and how you've given back to your community. So if you think of us alongside the other social media platforms as we grow, you have your Facebooks and your Instagrams for what you do in your social life. You have LinkedIn for what you do in your professional life. Gigit really is striving to be, what have you done to give back to your community through volunteering, through money in terms of donations, and through talent and the paid services you might offer to your community. So our social media platform is built specifically around being, what have you done for your community, and what's your social status, if you will, in terms of your give back, and how you've contributed to that community. And so for students, we think it's critical, and why the universities, of course, love it, is taking that. When you start doing volunteering through grade 8s, and you're right, we're starting actually launching Gigit Student tomorrow with the St. Clair Catholic District School Board, to bring all of their grade 8s onto the platform to volunteer this summer with the local nonprofits. And it's about capturing that. And most students at that age, just volunteer for whatever looks interesting, but they don't realize all the skills that they're getting. So Gigit is built in, or we've built in, of course, the skills and causes and support that we can automatically track. If a student does 10 volunteer opportunities for 3 or 4 different organizations, we're building a resume that says, by the way, did you know that you acquired these skills along the way that'll help you in moving into university and then moving into paid jobs? And we really think that there's a gap there. And what really started us along this path at Gigit was, volunteering, and especially when I grew up, and I'm sure others, it ended up at the bottom of your resume just as, oh, by the way, I volunteered. But it's becoming more and more something that's very important in a differentiator. And we want to see that when we're looking at job applications and things like that. So this brings light to that, and it brings your volunteerism to sort of a higher importance, and you can actually portray it. And there's nothing more valuable when it comes to showing your volunteer experience to people than pictures and multimedia and video supporting I volunteered at this organization a few years ago. And so we see the life cycle of volunteering, getting involved in your community, building skills that'll help you go and start to get into paid jobs and paid gigs, and eventually into a career, and really bringing that volunteer experience into your sort of career path, if you will. So I think overall, that's, volunteering is a critical piece. Every organization needs them. And if that was all we achieved, was to bring every volunteer together with every nonprofit, I think that would be quite a noble cause. But certainly bringing in all of the tying that into events, and that's really what brought us actually into the event space and the fundraising space, is that the majority of nonprofits, once we solve the volunteer issue, now they want to run an event that needs volunteers, and nothing really ties all that together. At least I haven't seen a great platform that has done that. And that's really where our value comes in, is that if you need to run a fundraiser, and a gala and an event, or a peer-to-peer fundraising event, but you also need to manage all the volunteers for that, you now have a single solution to do that, and track all of that in one place. So getting away from posting an Eventbrite event and selling a ticket, moving over to Facebook and begging for volunteers to go to your website and sign up there, bringing that all into a single place, and then rolling that up to the community level, so that any community member in Chatham that wants to get involved they can quickly come and search for events, volunteer opportunities, paid opportunities, and any fundraising events that they might want to get involved in.
And we've been using the platform for just that, for attracting volunteers and certainly for events. The other piece I just want to add on to, as far as the student piece, I think that it's fantastic too that when as students are graduating, it's really clicking to print off that PDF of all of their volunteer experience, to hand it into their student success teachers, rather than, and I was just there, rather than watching a student run around and get signatures from
Yeah.
people that can't even remember that they volunteered for them. So, pardon me, sorry.
No.
We have a summer student that started with us 2 weeks ago, Nazira Poisson. She's working with your group, Chris, looking up a lot of businesses in Chatham-Kent and trying to find all of the contact information and so on and so forth. So do you want to maybe expand on what it is that Nazira is working on with your group, and how the partnership to Connecting to CK is growing?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're thrilled to be part of the Connecting to CK project, and really running it on the back end to be that solution, because when we got in touch with the group running Connecting to CK and with the municipality in Chatham-Kent, it's essentially exactly what our mission was with Gigit, was to connect the community in a single place to support anything local. And so we're now, like I said, we've launched gigitcommunity.com for nonprofits. We've launched gigitwork.com for businesses, local businesses, and we're launching gigitstudent.com for high school students to be coming on board and signing up. They're all the same platform, of course. These are just the sites that tell a business what they will get out of it. And if you go to connectingtock.ca as of yesterday, it has launched as well, and it will drive you to the appropriate site that you want. So I'm a nonprofit, or I'm a business, and I'm a student. And so that initiative really for us is showing the outcome of what we always wanted Gigit to be. So businesses can go on the platform, have their own page, just like a nonprofit. And although they might not be running peer-to-peer fundraisers as often, they can have a customized storefront to sell merchandise. They can hire local workers, so put up a paid opportunity if they need students to come for a 4-hour shift from 5 to 9 at night, for example, to just help do anything around those businesses. And I think this is critical coming out of COVID-19. We have a lot of unemployed people that could use any kind of side job. And we have a lot of businesses that don't have necessarily the means coming out of it to hire full-time people. And so I think the gig economy will play a huge role in that, and hence our name Gigit. We always came from that mission, but we include volunteer in that definition, and we think that's slightly different. So whether it's volunteers or paid work, we're supporting that community. That all rolls up to Connecting to CK, which we introduced a concept called hubs in Gigit, which allows us to aggregate all of the nonprofits, all of the businesses into something called Connecting to CK, where any community member can come and search for volunteer opportunities, paid opportunities. And we've now introduced an aggregate store, which is shop local, which I think is critical coming out of COVID-19. You can't necessarily go to Amazon and say, only show me the items that are sold from Chatham-Kent businesses, but that's what Gigit is supporting. So for any community member, going to Gigit and Connecting to CK is going to be, I want to shop local, I want to support a local business, I want to support a local nonprofit or charity, I want to donate or fundraise, all of that. So essentially building that hub for your community as to how do you give back to your community, how do you get involved with your community. We've always talked in Chatham, of course, about the challenge of a single event calendar. That's what this will provide, is show me all the events in Chatham run by either a business or a nonprofit. So it really is that centralized hub for a community to get connected, but not just in a social media aspect. It's why we don't tend to coin ourselves as a social media platform, but as a social platform, because we're transactional, and everything you do on Gigit is transactional. So we would, and I say it humbly all the time, that our dream and our mission as a company is, we do think that we would like our logo next to your social logos on any business page or nonprofit page. And the reason you would send somebody to Facebook or Instagram or Twitter would be to see what your nonprofit or your business or your organization is doing from a social perspective. But if you want to volunteer with us, if you want to get involved with us, if you want to work for us, you want to see our events and buy tickets from us and donate to us, you're going to go to the Gigit page. And that's where we really think the power of social media can be used in a much more powerful way than just, posting and commenting, but also transactionally and bringing everybody together that way.
And as far as a business wanting to get onto this platform, is there any fees?
Nope, there's definitely no fees to any end user. Everything is free. People will definitely ask, how do we make money? It is a transactional platform. So on those transactions, there is a fee to the person making the transaction. We are giving the option to organizations, if they want to pay those fees, they could. But it allows us to have a very easy barrier to entry, just like any other social platform. Any user can come in and sign up for free and be a part of Gigit right away. So absolutely no fees for any businesses, no fees for any nonprofits, and no fees for any end users. Absolutely. And there are no ads. I know you net, so we're not running advertising through that. Or I don't know if that was you or somebody else today, but right now our model is based off of the donations and the ticket sales and the different transactions that go through.
No, that wasn't me that asked about the ads, but I'm glad that you brought it up, because I probably would have somewhere down the line. Okay, so the I guess the last thing that I want to touch on, because we didn't really talk about it in length, is the donor management piece, and the social enterprise aspect of Gigit giving back.
Yeah, very much so. One of the most important parts. On the management side, it's very important for us. So over the last year, as you would know, right, the old platform, we did a lot of the functionality that we had, but we didn't really step into donor management as a tool to track your donors and manage your donors. So in the new version, we've gone so far as to do that for volunteers and for donors, and allowing offline donations was a big part of that. So allowing the entry of cash or check or in-kind type donations to manage the donor and manage the history of the donor. So for a nonprofit, we truly do support volunteer management as well as just volunteer attraction. So it's the applications, the managing of that database, and then having that constant contact information and an actual profile for them. We do the same for donors. So every donor, you have a donor record, you have donor history, donor retention metrics, everything like that you'd expect from a donor management platform. So, our value proposition to a business or a nonprofit is lower your costs on any software you're paying for today now becomes free, and increase your revenue, which is your give back that you were mentioning. And we think that as a for-profit business in the nonprofit space primarily, that we should give back. And so every group, every business page, and every nonprofit page, we actually share the profit back to those organizations. So 5% of the Gigit profit goes back to those organizations. If you're a nonprofit, it comes back as a charitable donation, obviously. And if you're a business, it still comes back to you as a revenue item. And so we think that that's just part of what we want to do as an enterprise. If foundations can raise millions of dollars through our platform, we're happy to be able to cut a charitable donation check back to support any of those causes. And so that's just built into the platform. It's not a partnership program or anything like that. It is simply just part of the platform. Whether you raise $10,000 or $10 million through the platform, you'll get that back. And that way we can we like to be able to say that we support every cause that is on the platform. And so from that perspective, we think it's really critical. And then we also do that one step higher when we get to that hub that I was talking about. So connecting to CK as an example, to every local citizen now, anything you do on the platform through the Connecting to CK project is giving back to the local community. So every item that is purchased from a business, every donation that's made to a nonprofit, every ticket that's bought to an event is actually driving money back to the municipality, or not to the municipality, but to the Connecting to CK project. And that is a nonprofit that can then filter that back down to the United Way through programming. And we can see that everything that's happening now in Chatham as local community members is being brought back into the community, whether it's supporting youth sports, whether it's supporting poverty, or any of those things. We would like to see that money going back into the community. So it's a critical piece for us, not only at the individual nonprofit or business seeing a donation come back to them, but also at the higher level as a community and saying, why would we want to get behind a bigger platform like this? Well, coming out of COVID-19, I think it's a critical thing to support local. So buying from local businesses, hiring local people, is going to be really big. And then our nonprofit sector is struggling right now. So, how can we find local nonprofits? I know that before I started Gigit, I would be like that from a donor perspective. If you asked me what are the 10 organizations for a cause that I wanted to support were, I might know of the top one. But how do you know about the local organization that supports, your local women's shelter or your local food bank? You might donate to the bigger causes, maybe not so much the local causes. And so this gives a really easy opportunity to just click on a map and say, show me all of the nonprofits in Chatham that support autism, because I want to find one that's local. And there you go, you have them and you can donate to them very quickly. So I think we're able to give a bigger platform for the smaller nonprofits, and we're able to connect them with donors that may not have ever been able to find them before. And I think that's a pretty powerful message from a local perspective, and that every single dollar spent or donated in support of a local cause or business also funds money back into the community to build the economy.
It just makes sense. It's really a no-brainer. And when I think of the donor management software that we're using, it's costing us about $5,000 a year. Not to mention that there's only a few key staff that actually use the platform on a regular basis. For myself, yeah, it'd be great to jump onto our software just to, to kind of get some history of a donor. But it's another software program that I have to learn. I really have, in my year at United Way, I've only probably been on it 3 times. I ask Veronica. So
Yeah.
I like this because, for us, our small staff, we all learn the same platform that's going to be solving solutions in every area of our nonprofit. So yeah, it's awesome. Now, how can people get in touch with you, Chris? Like, what's the best way to find out more information? And maybe it's even following some of your social media channels, or, as you say, just going straight to Gigit. So
Yeah,
maybe
absolutely. Yeah, right now it's unique because we're in the middle of this launch. So for the Chatham-Kent area specifically, we're launching the Connecting to CK project right now. So the most important thing for any nonprofit in the Chatham area to do is to go to gigitcommunity.com and sign up there. That sign up will give you access to the launch, where we're going to be running webinars and training sessions and bringing every nonprofit on, creating your group page, helping you do that, making sure you have an active donate button, teaching you how to create your first event, teaching you how to post your first volunteer opportunity. We are also, there's gigitwork.com for any business in Chatham should be signing up to gigitwork.com. What we're going to be doing is the exact same process with the businesses, and teaching you how to create your online storefront, get your products into the Connecting to CK portal, make sure that local community members can buy from you, making sure you know how to post your first paid opportunity so that you can hire local help, make sure we can get lots of jobs out to the community right now for all the people who need to make some money. And then lastly, like I said, tomorrow we'll be launching gigitstudent.com for any grade 8 or high school student to jump on and sign up, because once we're done onboarding all of the nonprofits, we're going to have a large list of volunteer opportunities for the summer to start getting those hours. And like I said, that's in partnership with the school board, the St. Clair Catholic District School Board. And then, of course, Connecting to CK as the overall ideas. So you can also go to connectingtock.ca, and that will link you back to gigitcommunity.com or gigitwork.com. It has buttons that says I'm a business or I am a nonprofit. So our biggest goal right now and our biggest push is to get the community to know about this, to know that we're launching it in Chatham completely, and that everybody should jump on board and sign up and get involved. And by the end of June here, we'll be launching it live, and that's when we'll send every community member to go there to volunteer, to buy local, and to continue to move it on. So I would say those are the biggest things. You can certainly follow all of our social media campaigns. We have different ones for Gigit Community, Gigit Work, etc., that way we're posting specific to that vertical, the nonprofits versus businesses. So absolutely, the more people can get the word out there, the better. We think the product is going to bring a lot of value to some sectors that are critically in need right now, and that's local businesses and nonprofits and charities. So the more that people can talk about it and the more we can get signed up, the more willing to help. We're doing an awful lot of these and webinars and training sessions, and I think it's important for people to know that all of that is free. There's no cost, there's no hidden fees. We just want everybody to be involved in it, because the more that it succeeds, we'll succeed just fine. We just need everybody to know about it and sign up so that they can get trained and involved and be part of it, so that as it launches, that they're there for the community members. So if we don't have them on there, we want, when the community members start coming on board, that everyone's there and every organization is on there.
So each community group then, Chris, can request a demo to walk them through. Yes.
That's true as well. We do have the request a demo button that if you want a dedicated session, you can do that as well. But the sign up to get involved in the launch, we'll do that as well, but as part of the bigger launch. But certainly if you want a one-on-one session, we're happy to do that as well. So those buttons are all there on those pages, gigitcommunity.com and gigitwork.com.
Okay. I have one more question that I was just thinking of, like, as far as the business side of it, size wise in businesses. And I'm going to give you an example. All over social media, I'm finding these small mom and pop shops, or even a lot of folks like crafters that might be on Etsy. Like, is this open to them as well?
Absolutely. And most importantly, right? Anyone that has merchandise or product to sell online, it's there for you. As we spoke about the lowering the cost to a nonprofit, the same for a business. If you're running a Shopify, website to sell your merchandise, one will save you that cost because it's much cheaper to sell on the Gigit platform. But more importantly, you're now going to be in front of the entire Chatham-Kent community as part of the Connecting CK portal. And so instead of trying to drive the community members to every different website, Chatham now has its own localized Amazon, if you will, where it is all of your local business members, all of the items being sold by all of them, as well as the nonprofits, because you can have a storefront on an event or on a group page. So nonprofits can sell t-shirts and hats in support of their cause, but that's all now in one local storefront that you're only searching local. And I think that's really important. So absolutely, every one of those organizations or groups can come aboard. If you're running a small thing out of your basement as a business that you sell handmade goods, absolutely, this is a perfect solution for you. And you don't have to pay anything to do it. So, that's the other thing, is you don't have to go out and build a website and buy is something like a Shopify and build all of that. You simply can come on to Gigit and probably within 20 minutes have your items for sale and not have paid a single dime to do it. And we'll make money when you make money, right? So it's a great solution for any small entrepreneur trying to do it, but right up to every big organization that has products to sell, whether you're selling them on other platforms or not. You obviously would want it to be another place and another source of revenue.
Awesome. No pressure, but I come in to Chatham-Kent from Bell River, which is Lakeshore, Windsor, Essex. When are you going out there?
Whenever you want, I'll be there. I love coming down to Chatham. I'm from a small town as well, so I get it.
Thanks so much, Chris. I know you are busier than ever these days, so I really appreciate you taking time out to talk about, how you're solving lots and lots and lots of solutions for the Chatham-Kent community, from business to nonprofit. So really appreciate you coming on and joining us.
No, thank you very much. There's a huge opportunity. Our goal right now is just to get every Chatham-Kent member or community member to know that we exist. And so any platform that we can do that on, we're happy to do it. And so really appreciate it. And of course, appreciate the United Way Chatham-Kent partnership over the last 2 years. Definitely our biggest partner and best partner at Gigit. So anytime there's anything to do for you, we're happy to do.
Didn't even pay you to say that. That was free. That was free too.
It's true.
No, it's been an awesome partnership, and I think I said to you, to Mill, to Christian, time and time again, how proud I am of this partnership. I'd be wearing my Gigit shirt today if I was ahead of
No,
myself. So thanks, Chris.
thank you very
Thanks
much.
for joining us, everyone there out in the community. We'll make sure that there are links to the Gigit community on when we do post this video. If this is going up today, and if it's not, then you're going to receive this news too late, Chatham-Kent, and I apologize, but I'm hoping that Jackie's going to have this aired today. We are having a yard sale here at United Way tomorrow between 7 a.m. and 1 p.m. We have been working hard all week, going through all of our archives of lots of stuff from events of the past. So we think